And we're recording. Okay, so this is my first ever live stream. At least I think it's live. I wanted to go over why I'm doing keto, which if you follow me on social media, at least Facebook, no, I don't think I actually said anything on my page. Either way, I've decided to do keto, which is the ketogenic diet. It's a high fat, moderate protein, very low carb, anywhere from 20 to 50 grams, depending on the individual person, per day of carbs. I'm in the really low category of 20 grams. And the reason I'm doing this is because I am actually overweight. Now, I'm not ashamed of my weight in any way. I'm not ashamed of my body. Don't hate my body. But I do have arthritis. And there's a multitude of health issues that can come with doing, like just carrying extra fat on your body. So I wanted to make sure that I have many years ahead of me and I don't need a knee replacement, you know, by the time I'm 50. I'm only 30 now. I'm not really keen on that. So that was my primary motivator. Now I want to go into a little bit of history. Last year, this time, I actually did keto then. I did it for 4 months to lose some weight, and I was about 200 pounds then. Lost 20 pounds over the course of technically 3 months. The fourth month, I didn't really have any significant change in weight loss or anything, but it did make my arthritis flare. That took about 10 months to settle it back down. So, and then in the last 2 months, it's really been settled, and I'm like, okay, let's do another round. Lose another, I almost dropped my pen. Lose another 20 pounds, hopefully. If I can manage to get more off, that'd be great, as long as it's not going to be a risk to my health. Now, if you're somebody who is bigger and you're happy that way, awesome. Not even a little bit of shame. Do what makes you happy. I am concerned about my own health. There's probably a little bit of vanity in there. Society's a lot nicer if you fit within their framework. You'd have to be blind to not realize that, but that's okay. You know what, I'm sure there's a little bit of vanity in there with it, but mostly it is my health, because I'm not very good at following what other people want of me, unless I also happen to want it, and then it's convenient, and then I'll do it. But if I don't want it, then I don't do it. But so I did the keto for 4 months, and in the 4th month I had the arthritis flaring. Became a little bit of a psychological self-inflicted torture because I wanted to eat all the food and couldn't, because finding low-carb vegetables, you're heavily limited on a lot of options, but it was worth it to lose 20 pounds. Now, the important part actually is that the weight loss maintained. I did not gain it back. It wasn't until the last month or so, just before starting keto again, that I ended up with gaining about 6 or 7 pounds, but I lost those within 2 days of going keto. So it was pretty much just water weight, so no big deal. So right now I took a baseline at the start of my weight and my measurements so that I know where I'm starting off. I did this last time as well. So right now I'm 180 pounds. And I'm staring out the window. I'm 180 pounds, and I took measurements. I did measure my arms, mostly because I'm curious as to how much muscle is on there, because I know I lost a couple inches off of my calves, but now they're all muscle, and they are 17 robust inches. Big ass calves. I'm okay with that, because they're all muscle. I also measured my hips, which right now are 46 inches. Yeah, actually, I just lost 2 inches in the last week, so I'm 44-ish, a little bit more inches. My waist at start was 33. That hasn't changed. So I have, I'll explain that in a second. And my thighs are 24.5, which is actually an okay size. It's not like I have lots and lots of fat stored there, so I'm not expecting that to change by more than, if it changes at all, maybe an inch, maybe. My arm is 14 inches if you're curious, and I'm only tracking that because I want to know if that's mostly muscle and I just need to tone it up and that's why it's so jiggly on the back, or if there's actually a fat deposit. It's mostly a point of curiosity rather than concern. The thing about my waist is I had an emergency C-section when I had my kid, which everything was fine. It wasn't actually necessary, but it happened, and that means there's a lovely scar, and that creates the lip many females will be all too familiar with, and you can end up with permanent nerve damage. But part of the healing process of for me was my common law husband would make me walk for miles and miles before the wound had even closed. Yes, he's an asshole. Yes, that's abuse. Yes, I knew that at the time, but there wasn't anything I could do about it, because he would take the baby and then wouldn't give me the baby back until I complied with what he wanted. But that caused abdominal separation called diastasis recti. Now, normally, I'm going to stand up so you can see. Normally when that happens, the abdominal separation will occur along the center line and goes like this. Now, I didn't have that. Mine occurred due to healing from a, trying to keep my balance here, for healing and doing the walk-in while it was still closing, caused abdominal separation like this. It's actually on this side here, and you have to be careful on which exercises you do, because you can make it worse. Anything resembling crunches will make any form of abdominal separation worse, because you're crunching the muscles together instead of pulling them in, which is what you need to do to get the muscles to come back this way or this way. There's lots of exercises on YouTube for you to check out if you feel you may have diastasis recti. There's also lots of videos showing you how to figure out if you have diastasis recti. Now, I made mine worse a couple times. It wasn't too bad. It was down here. That's my navel there. And it was right here. Is right there. Hair. And it was only about that long initially. Doing crunches made it all the way over here. So it is quite long. So that's my goal. Obviously, I want to get rid of a pad of fat. You can't actually see really. You can see a little bit of it there. But the nerve damage is going to make it challenging to properly get rid of all of this. When you have a C-section, for those who don't know, they cut you open, but they only cut so far. Otherwise, they risk hitting organs and whatnot. So it's as soon as they can get their fingers in, they do, and it gets torn apart. Put your organs in the bowl, take your uterus out, do the exact same thing with the cut until they can, and then tear, take baby out, clean everything up, put everything back roughly where they're going to go. Everything's all stitched together. But that can create heavy scarring, and of course has to go through the nerves, so there's no sensation below the belly button. I've managed to do enough repair that it's really just this section, and then sort of a numb-ish gray zone. But that will limit some of the fat loss that I can get in that area. So in the future, if I have the means and I really just can't get rid of it, then I'm not averse to getting a little bit of lipo just to get rid of it, because of equal parts vanity and abdominal fat tends to be a repository point for environmental contaminants, things like PCBs, pesticides, any sort of man-made chemical that can end up deposited in fatty tissues. Abdominal fat can be a significant deposit point. Your body's trying to keep it away from your vital organs, so it encapsulates it in fat. That's why you'll see people talk about detoxing for weight loss. Unfortunately, they're not giving you the technical parts of it a lot of times. But I really should slow down and breathe before I keep sounding like I'm jittery as hell and I've had 16 cups of coffee. I haven't. That's not good for you. But okay, and so what else? Some of the things I did to prep, because I am technically low income, was I have a vacuum sealer. I caught it on sale. I also have a food processor, same thing. So right now, cauliflower is still super cheap because it's in season. So whenever I went grocery shopping, I'd pick up 2 heads of cauliflower, trim it up, chop it up, and vacuum seal it in the freezer. So I have quite a few meals of cauliflower rice that I did myself for maybe $1 per meal. I also would catch things like seafood, because I happen to like seafood, and butter when it was on sale, and just sort of backstocked for a few months because I knew I was going to be doing this. The only thing I did not backstock that I wanted to is my favorite protein powder for my bulletproof coffee. Now I'm going to have to run over to Costco in the next couple days to go get more. My favorite one is the Lean Fit Vanilla protein powder, the vegan one. I am not vegan, obviously, but vegan protein powders are cleaner and tend to taste better. This one is sweetened with stevia, and when I throw the butter and the cream and the coffee and everything in the blender, it comes out tasting like an amazing vanilla latte that makes me very happy. Very happy. To the point that I've actually had too much coffee and ran out of my protein powder significantly earlier than I should have. Yeah. Self-control. I should be drinking more water. That's an important note that a lot of people who cover keto may not go over very well, is when your body is flushing ketone bodies, once you're in ketosis, it's going to go through your urine. So it's going through your kidneys, and a buildup of ketone bodies in your kidneys can cause damage. So you want to make sure you're drinking lots of water to keep your kidneys flushed so you don't damage them just because you're trying to lose weight. What I do plan to do is I wanted to settle in for the first week just into the routine of keto and whatnot, just make sure keto flu, which for me lasts like 2 days. It's a headache and then I'm tired on the second day. My body apparently really likes being in ketosis, so it's super fast, or I'm not normal. Either way, I'm okay with it. But the thought train left the station without me. Flush your kidneys. There. Drink plenty of water, and you'll want to compensate your salt intake, which can be done because you're drinking the extra water. You'll flush that as well. You can do that either just by licking some salt if you really want to, or you could drink cups of broth, which gets more fluid, plus salt at the same time. You can add some shiitake noodles, which are a type of Japanese yam noodle that has no carbs, nothing. It actually has no nutritional benefit. It's just in case you want to eat noodles. I don't think that's about it. I haven't had any actual weight shift in the first week, just loss of inches. I've lost 2 inches off of, oh, hey, kiddo. Want to say hi?
Hi.
Yeah. Okay, go. Go play. I'll be out in a second.
Okay.
Love you. She whispered it. But where was it? I've had 2 inches off of my hips, settling into routine, and over the next week, what I want to do, personal goal I'm setting for myself, is to start adding in about 20 minutes of cardio in the morning before kiddo gets up. And that's just to help when you increase your heart rate, you increase your rate of fat burning. So combining with that with ketosis, I'm hoping to expand on how much weight I can lose in that 3 months without creating a health risk. Because I know I've got that 3-month mark before my arthritis might flare again. Now, if my arthritis is not flaring and I am still having weight loss, then I'll just play it by ear from there and continue to go. But if it is flaring, then I'll cut it off at the 3-month mark, let everything settle, come back to it in a couple months to do another round if I'm not happy with where I'm at. So yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up for the week, and I will update in a week where I'm at with inches and actual pounds, if there's any change there. So for now, hopefully you'll be back next week. Bye-bye.